I heard you just talking about your training camp being so good. What was different with this one to the, like, not in a generic point of view, but go into, like, give me the technical details, because when a fighter says something's different, they've probably peaked at something in their camp or something has gotten noticeably better for them.
To be honest, I've just really enjoyed this camp. Like, I had a bit of time off and stuff. The whole 7-month layoff to start with, obviously it was a bit depressing and not sure what was happening, limbo with the UFC. But yeah, now it's all, it's all sorted. And just before I even signed to the UFC, I became really happy. I was coaching, and so when I got the UFC contract, that just kind of put the cherry on the cake. And yeah, I've just enjoyed this camp. I think the time off's done me good.
Was there good offers in between re-signing with the UFC? Were you considering maybe taking your future elsewhere?
Yeah, I mean, my head was all over the place, to be honest. After the first few months of the Felder fight, I didn't quite realise that my job was still at risk. Like, I thought it's just a matter of time until I get the contract. So I was declining anything that I got offered. Like, I got offered to fight on ACB in November, and Bama were in contact, and I was just telling them, look, I'm still signed to the UFC, I'm just waiting on my contract. And then it kind of started sinking in, like, wait, I'm technically no in the UFC anymore. I've not got a contract, am I actually going to get one? But yeah, and then it all kind of, I did just get offered a 6-fight deal with ACB just before the UFC one came along, but my manager was confident and told me to be patient and that it would come.
Do you think that it maybe stemmed around that they had to wait until they were coming back to Europe and they could assume that you would be on that card? It seems like they're putting more and more of these European-based guys on those European cards.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's what Sean had told me, that it made the most sense to re-sign me for the London card, but then the London card came and he was telling me, like, he doesn't know if there's space, and to be honest, the card was filling up. And I think if I didn't get this pull-out, then I maybe wasn't going to get another UFC contract. I think that maybe would have been me done with the UFC, unless something else came up. But my manager did say to me that they were interested in putting me on this Dublin card. So I was holding off, and that's why I didn't accept any other offer. But I was tempted because I did get offered a good contract elsewhere.
And then one final thing, how weird is it for you having trained with your opponent this weekend before? And I believe you did his podcast last week as well. So what is your mindset going into that now, a couple of days away from it, knowing that this guy's maybe seen you at your worst in the gym, or you've seen him at his worst, or you've seen him at his best, where everything's going right for him in that day?
To be honest, I see it as a good thing. We last trained together probably over 2 years ago, and even then I don't even think I trained with him much the last time I was at TriStar. I think the last time I possibly trained with Cajun was about 3 years ago. So it's when I had just kind of started going to TriStar, and so from what I remember, we didn't do too much. We know a little bit of each other, but to be honest, there's so much online. I've watched him, I know how he's going to, I've seen what he's got, he knows what I've got.